future isn't just something.
Welcome. This is Monday Blitz. Thank you for staying with us. My name is Tony Kwalanda. This perfect Monday morning. Kama kawaida, my name is Tony Kwalanda. I am not alone on this Monday Blitz. I have the who is who in matters to do with sport analyst. I have a very experienced, very able hand in matters football. Currently, he is the Football Kenya Federation head of projects and national teams. My very good friend Athanas Obangobala. It's nice to see you. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Najua umetoka kwa safari ya umetoka na coach umekuja hapa mbio kutoka Gusii. It's good to see you. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
I also have, of course, another one of greatest sports minds in Kenya, and of course, sports analyst, that is Anita Wachira. Karibu.
Asante.
It's good to see you on this Monday. Najua ule ndugu yangu alienda kufanya shughuli zingine, but tutasimama kidete katika show. Now, I understand we have a lot of content of sports, so much football in Cairo, in Los Angeles, at the El Stade de Gusii, where Athanas also played football once upon a time. We have a lot of content. But first, I understand we have Fred Arocho, who is standing by in Cairo, Egypt. You know clearly well, Kenya lost their second Group B game in the Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations in Cairo, Egypt. And that is not very good news for our team. However, those boys have put up a good fight. That is, of course, Salim Babu together with assistant coach Anthony Akulia. The boys are actually displaying good football. It's just that now we learn a few lessons. So we're waiting for the game against Nigeria this week. We should be having Arocho if we have Arocho on standby. Is that so? So Arocho, if you can hear us, I am Nikona Athanas Obango in the house, as well as Anita Wachira. And we had not so good results in Cairo. What is your take from what you saw yesterday? Arocho, if you can hear me, this is Monday Blitz on TV 47. We just want to hear your analysis of how, what transpired, and of course, what next for the Rising Stars in Cairo, Arocho. Okay, as we fix, maybe they're looking at we need to fix the sound here, Arocho, tupatie. But Athanas, that game in your own, from what, of course, you saw from your experience, it's a bad result. But I think it's a good outing for the under-20 team. At least we know scouts will be there to pick up, because those boys really have talent. From Amos Wanjala to the likes of Kinabeja, we have very good talent in the Rising Stars.
I think it's a good team. I can say that it's a good experience for them, being the first time Kenya is participating in the under-20 championship. Yes. And with the time they had for preparation, yes. I think the federation gave them enough support in terms of preparation. And I can say they have showed something. They have showed something, and we are looking forward to having a very, very good team in future. Mm-hmm. Like yesterday's match, it was just pure lack of concentration towards the end of the game. And we lost some concentration. Then the Tunisians took advantage of that, and just a few schoolboy mistakes, which you can't blame them, because these are young boys.
Yeah, young boys.
So it's a learning curve for us as a country, and also for the young guys. So we are looking forward that we look at that team as the future of the Kenyan national team, Harambee Stars. So for us, I can say it's a good outing, and we learn from those kind of tournaments, and we just have to go back to the drawing board and see where we went wrong in terms of. But to me, I can say kudos to the boys. They have shown they can do it. Some of them have shown very good individual brilliance. Yes. And I can say we are headed somewhere.
Indeed. It's true. Anita, of course, from my analysis, you remember the first game, from my own 2 cents, referee alikuwa ametulemea sana kwa hiyo game. Anajua Robango tasema the South African referee, it was actually a topic online that about South African referees, how they officiate, of course, presently. But we cannot blame referees. You prepare a team, players are supposed to speak on the pitch.
I think for the first match, as much as, yes, referring to Lemea,
Yeah.
there were small schoolboy mistakes that we did. In that foul, especially in the first game where Amos Wanjala was fouled, the ball rolled in front of the goal line. As a professional player, you know, clear the ball, alafu
Then went
ungangane
to
na
get a
referee.
referee.
So it was just a schoolboy mistake, and it costed us the lead.
True.
So, and then looking at the game of Morocco and Egypt, Morocco and Nigeria, they drew. So that schoolboy mistake has costed us until now. But also yesterday they played really well.
Yeah,
we were very impressed, actually surprised. I was very surprised how they played. There were a few issues I had, especially with the lineups. The goalkeeper was changed. Mansour was sent to the left. They changed the center back. So there were a lot of changes in the line in the squad that played, from the squad that played Morocco to the squad that played Tunisia. So I feel like it played that part, but overall they did a good job. I feel like they're a very good team. Under 23 is also coming up. Chan is also coming up. So it was a good platform. It was a good outing, and I feel like next time we will do better.
Indeed. And Thanas, of course, looking at that, do you think the team didn't have enough friendlies? I know they played Ghana. They drew with Ghana just before they went into this tournament. They were supposed to go for a 10-day camp in Morocco before, but because the changes caused that. Do you think that also played a part in how we performed in Cairo?
I don't think it played a part, because even not going to Morocco and you've been in camp for over 6 weeks, is enough time. And you look at the team that this is the core team of the team that played in the Sekafa under-18 tournament just the other day.
Yes.
So this is a team that, in terms of cohesion, in terms of gelling,
Yes.
I think they had enough time to be able to gel. And I strongly feel that we could have had more input from the European-based players who were called up to the camp. Apparently, none of them made it to the final squad. And it raises a lot of questions why they were not considered, because I believe probably we could have injected a few of them into the team.
Yes.
We could have seen maybe more flair into the game. But anyway, it happens. The coaches had their own way of assessing and selecting the players.
Yes.
But I believe that they had enough time to prepare for the tournament.
Yeah.
And I think the most competitive game they played was against Ghana in Cairo. And there are good signs that they're going to do something. But when the real tournament comes, a lot comes with it. But to me, I can say this is a good team, and we just need to keep the faith and ensure that these boys are kept together, so that they can be the team of the future. Yeah. So it's about giving credit to them also. This is the first time they're playing in the under-20. In fact, the first time we are participating in the CAF under-20. And it's a very good experience for them. And we come back and, as I said earlier, go to the drawing board and see where we went wrong. Probably get a report from the coaches on really what happened, so that we can be able to chart our way forward.
That's true. And of course, looking at the standings, I'm looking at how the team, of course, performed in all the groups. Group B, looking at Morocco, Nigeria, Tunisia, and Kenya. Morocco on 4 points, Nigeria on 4 points, Tunisia on 3 points, Kenya 0 points, and then of course a goal difference of -3. So technically, Kimeumana. And this, of course, was a platform, Anita, is a platform for our teams actually to qualify for the World Cup in Chile. But all is not lost. At least scouts wamewaona.
Yeah, I think regardless of the loss, we had a lot of individual performances and a lot of individual brilliance. So regardless, we did put on a show. I feel like for the Kenya under-20 team, they did surprise us with how they played. Yep. It was unfortunate that we didn't get the goals, but we played really well. The likes of Kevin Wangaya, who's currently unattached, very high chance, there's a very high possibility that we'll get a team after this. The likes of Amos Wanjala, they played well, they did a good job, and they showed us what they're actually made of. So unfortunate for them that they left, but we are proud. And the point is to encourage them. We have other competitions coming up, and we hope that, and also a very important thing is Benny McCarthy has been watching them from the friendlies. And so we know that this is the squad that will progress into the national team. And so they've done a good job and we're proud.
Okay. Now I understand we have Fred Arocho, who was managed, of course, to catch him. Alikuwa anakula breakfast kule Cairo. Arocho, welcome to Monday Blitz. I have Asanas Obango, of course, the head of projects and national teams at Football Kenya Federation. I also have Anita Washira, a sports analyst. We are here and we would like to hear how is the mood in the team, despite, of course, losing our second match. I'm sure they're still in high spirits because they're making a debut in the under-20.
Well, first and foremost, I'd like to congratulate my brother Athanas Obango on his appointment as the new project officer at FKF.
Yes.
And of course, to the entire country, we've woken up quite well here in Cairo. Well, in respect of the fact that our boys lost last night, the spirit is still very high. And I believe that the match against Nigeria is also going to be another encounter that we'll be proud of.
Yes.
But just to say exactly what happened yesterday, in my opinion, I believe that the coach made several changes, in fact, in the defense, where we had Mansour Okwaro, who initially played on the central defense, was moved to the flank, basically to create way for Bate Onyango, who came in the central defense. Well, the mood in the camp, as you asked my brother Kwalanda, of course, is not really, let's say, encouraging, because the loss yesterday meant that our chances are quite slim, if you may use that word. Mathematically, I think we still have a chance, because you know that the best losers are also going to make. In any case, we can win convincingly against Nigeria.
Yes.
Then, of course, we'll have an opportunity. But all said and done, I think this was just a learning process for our system in Kenya. We learned that concentration in the game is quite vital.
Yes.
And there's another point that I really picked out of this tournament, my brother Kwalanda, the fact that we are conceding goals in the last 10 minutes. And in fact, I did some research last night. In the last 11 or so matches that both our teams, that is the national senior soccer team, the ladies soccer team, and of course the team currently in Cairo, we are conceding goals in the last 10 or so minutes. Look at the fact that we conceded a goal, I think about 2 or 3 minutes before the first half ended in last night's match.
Yes.
I think this is a conversation that should be picked as a country, as a fraternity. We need to look at the reason why we are conceding goals towards the last moment before halftime, either halftime or the full time. So these are some of the lessons that we are picking as a country from this tournament. And I believe that this should be the starting point. Subsequent matches should be approached differently. And now that we are having Sekafa played at home, in my opinion, I think this is a good chunk of these players are the players who should be given the opportunity to play in Sekafa and, of course, play in Chan. And subsequently, in any case, they can survive play AFCON, Kwalanda.
Yes, and of course, I know my brother Obango, together with Anita, will also engage you a bit. But just as we mentioned, mathematically we are out. And looking at the other groups, Arocho, I'm looking at Group A, Sierra Leone on 7 points, Egypt on 4 points, South Africa on 3 points, Zambia on 2 points, Tanzania on 0 points. And of course, the other group, DR Congo, 1 point, Senegal 1 point, Central Africa Republic 1 point, Ghana 1 point. And you've said mathematically we are slim chances of qualifying. How slim is slim?
Well, what I mean is if in any case we play well against Nigeria and of course get a good number of goals, then perhaps there are chances. But when you look at Group A, a group that is consisting of 5 teams,
yes,
you remember that they started this tournament way early. They played on the 27th,
yes,
and we played later, about 4 or 5 days later. So basically, it's a team that has several teams. But for me, the take home in this tournament might not necessarily be qualifying for the quarterfinals, but I think several things come my way. One, as a soccer family, we've learned a lot. Administratively, we're having our administrators here, led by the FKF president, Hussein Mohammed, who arrived in here last night, no, in the morning, sorry.
Yes.
And the technical team that was here, we had several FKF officials who are here. So basically, we are learning. It's a learning process, administratively, back into the game. And of course, even as journalists, we are picking a lot of staff here that might help the country as we are hosting CHAN and, of course, AFCON in 2027.
Yes.
So other than the playing results that might not have gone our way, I think this was a forum where the entire fraternity is coming to learn on how to host such a showcase. Kwalanda.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I don't know, Thanas, if you have any question for Anita, any question for Arocho, maybe just before.
Probably, Fred, if I may just go back to the match last night. The changes by the coach, do you think could have caused the defeat? Because I don't believe that making those changes, especially when already you know you are going to a tournament, knowing very well that you already identified your first 11. I think probably could the changes have made us lose the game.
Well, Obango, I think the coach took a gamble. And of course, after losing the first match and the way we lost the first match, conceding very cheap goals, I think the coach had no option other than to try and get another outfit that could really help us out in this tournament. Personally, I think that bringing in Masur taking Masur off the central of that defense onto the flank, for me was a positive. The only thing that I think didn't really work was our substitutions into the match. When we brought in the likes of Humphrey Arocho, for me, it did not work necessarily. I think they brought Arocho somehow late into the game, which, as I said earlier, did not work. I believe that the likes of Kelly Madada should have come in way early. Yes, in the first match, Kelly played in the second half, but I believe that Kelly, with his experience at AFC Leopards and top flight football, and of course his performance at the Den should have really helped all that. But having said that, I think we as observers off the pitch might say a lot, but when it comes to the playing unit, the technical units, there are several other issues that they consider before a player is given the opportunity to play. But I'd like just to be positive. I'd like to pick positives out of this event. I don't want to look at Kenya not really picking positives. Let's pick positives, and I believe that the positives we pick from Cairo will subsequently be our springboard moving on to the next event, because as I said earlier, we are having Sekafa coming in a month's time, which is a showcase that might also help us give these young lads an opportunity to play, and then CHAN coming up in August, and of course the Africa Cup of Nations. What I'd like also to say is the government. The government has done a tremendous job in making sure that these boys had enough time to train, the conducive environment, and of course, traveling in good time for the tournament. Yes, we have not performed well, but I believe that this should just be the starting point. Kwalanda.
All right. Indeed, Arocho. Anita will also engage you just in a bit. Let's Arocho, of course, just hold on there. Let's just also listen to the coach, what the coaches had to say about the outcome after that Tunisia versus Rising Stars under 20 Africa Cup of Nations game.
Play well. Comparing this match to our first match, we were a bit slow in our movement. Our midfield didn't click that much. Our defense again was caught in areas that we couldn't defend well. In overall performance, I think we didn't play well today. It wasn't a good match for us. We are having lapses towards the end of our first half. It has happened again today. In our first match, it happened the same. In our second match today again, the stoppages in the match, every time we were moving forward, the game made so many injuries. The added minutes, of course, they were to be added. We lost concentration at that moment. Basically, I think there were moments that we were supposed to rise in the match, but we let Tunisia take control of the match. And that was our biggest letdown.
Anita, what you actually said about the lapses, and of course what you've heard from Arocho as well. Anthony Ahula is basically, as in the mistakes that were there in the first game, it came to repeat themselves in the next game, in this game.
Yes.
And then we are going to meet 7-time champions Nigeria.
Yes. Well, I think for the boys, the game against Nigeria is a game to express yourself, because already our chances are so slim.
Yep.
So now that they're facing Nigeria, and because of the kind of press that is coming for Nigeria, the scouts that are looking at Nigeria, it's a very good opportunity for them to show individual brilliance, because that game, there's no pressure. Because what I realized from the first and the second game, there was a lot of pressure. And that pressure came, I personally, when we were watching the pre-games against Police, against Ulinzi, there are things I didn't see them doing. Sijoiona Muswanjala Kipura ball.
Yeah,
but you see, they're in Morocco, and the pressure is so much, the ball is there, So with the game that is coming against Nigeria, it's a chance for them to express themselves. And I think it's also a chance for the coach to play some players that have not gotten minutes, like the likes of Kelly Madada, the likes of Javan Omondi, who also got a chance to start. So for this game, I think it's a very important game for them to showcase exactly who they are, especially those chasing contracts. The scouts that will be looking at Nigeria will also be looking at Kenya. So for them, this is it. The Morocco, the Tunisia is done, but this Nigeria game, this is it.
Indeed. And of course, Athanas, going into the next game, as just of course Anita said, they have nothing to lose. Or they'll go and express themselves. They'll play. I'm sure this game now, they'll open up, and we actually will pull up a very good result. And the good thing, of course, the boys at least are scoring and they're very offensive.
You see, we still have a mathematical chance of maybe qualifying, depending on the performance of other groups. And the only thing is, I can just say that as much as they are looking for contracts, they should play for the badge first. that is because at the end of the day, it's the badge that took you there.
Yeah, true.
So you just have to go. What we say in Kiswahili, kujituma. Yeah. So that is the most important thing. They have to play for the flag. The scouts will come later once you do well for the flag. So the game against Nigeria is equally a very tough game. And remember, when the draws came out, we said that we were dumped into the group of death.
Yeah, true.
And to me, I still believe even yesterday's match, Tunisia is a very, very weak team.
Yeah, we should have actually won that game.
It's a very, very weak team, and it's a team that we could have beaten so well, given that we had several chances of scoring during that game. But against Nigeria, it's going to be a tough match. And you see, if you look at the log, Nigeria are on 4 points.
Yes, yes.
Yeah? And Tunisia on Tunisia, I think.
Yes, Tunisia are on actually 3 points.
3 points.
Nigeria 4.
Morocco on 4 points.
Yes, and then 0 us.
So remember, Tunisia is going to play Morocco. Yes. So probably something might come out maybe in our favor. See, so we have to beat Nigeria.
You have to beat Nigeria and hope.
So that the results in other group favor us, so that we may be able to go to the next round. Otherwise, I still believe that the boys can push themselves, so long if the coaches put their act right in terms of selection and giving the boys confidence. Because you can see towards the end, in football, normally towards the end, there's lack of concentration and because of fatigue and whatever. So that is where we are losing it. Because conceding goals, as Arocho said, in the last few minutes of the game shows lack of concentration. The levels go down because of the fatigue or whatever. So those are areas we need to look at. Especially if you look at this tournament, we've been ahead almost twice. Yeah. So if we normally say as coaches, if you can't score, if you can't score another goal, but don't concede. Yeah. So this is a tournament that I believe we could have done much better. But things do happen. But I'm looking for a situation whereby we are going to beat Nigeria.
And of course, we have a chance to beat Nigeria because there's nothing we are definitely there to lose. We'll play out our hearts out because it's our last game and we have to win it. And of course, looking at the other groups as well, things look very nice. Arocho, is Arocho still there? I wanted to engage him and ask him how he's surviving in terms of food, weather. Arocho, una survive aje na huko? Unakula aje? Weather inakaa namna gani? And how are the Kenyan fans, are they coming out really to support our team?
No.
Cairo?
Kwalanda, I'm a traveled man, so I'll survive anywhere. Well, on a light note, of course.
Of course.
Coming back to generally how life is in Cairo, it's more or less, the weather is more or less, currently the weather is more or less what is we are experiencing in Nairobi. The weather is quite favorable. And I think even the fans, you heard from the fans earlier in the interview that I had, the fans here in Cairo are really supportive. They really like to come out and enjoy the team. And I also did some very good feature that I think will run over the weekend during the extravaganza show.
Yes.
The lady Mura, who plays her professional soccer here in Egypt, she's doing so well. I watched her play over the weekend and she scored 2 goals. We were so proud as Kenyans who went to watch her play. She plays for the Egyptian National Bank in the top league. So basically, life is favorable for Kenyans here, and we also like to commend His Excellency, the Ambassador of Kenya to Egypt, who's also been quite helpful in trying to make sure that we are comfortable here. And the team, he made a visit to the camp and had a session with the lads, and promised that once we are done with the tournament, he'll also have another session with them, just trying to encourage them and give them confidence. So basically the government, and once again I'm going to reiterate this, the government have been quite helpful, facilitating the training, facilitating the trip, and making sure that all is well for the young lads to prepare. Well, I also will not want to leave without congratulating Gor Mahia yesterday, and for the guys who are injured back in Gusii, I'd like them to have a quick recovery. But all in all, Gor Mahia proved that they are the mighty Kogalo that we've all been cherishing. Getting a win in Gusii was not easy. I don't think there's any other team since we had a new coach in Gusii that has picked 3 points in Gusii. So once again, kudos to Gor Mahia, and once again to the guys who got injured. Quick recovery, and I believe that we can do better as far as management of the crowd management during the days, because it seems there was some gaps, and this is a challenge to Obango and his team to make sure that the safety of our fans is guaranteed, because we need to get guys into the stadium. We can only do that if they feel safe in our stadium. Kwalanda.
Thank you very much, Arocho. I will let you to go and enjoy your dessert because you're in the middle of your breakfast. Please enjoy those noodles. Asante sana, and enjoy Cairo. We'll of course be getting back to you in the course of the day, of course, to feed us information about Rising Stars. Anita, you've heard, of course, as we move to El Stadio de Gusii. Of course, our sorry to the fans who were injured in that particular event. Obango, of course, will also weigh into the matter now that this also falls into your docket in terms of crowd management and how we should need to deal with these fans. But Anita, in your opinion, Gor Mahia won it. But looking, of course, what is overshadowing the entire, what is pick about, is the huge turnout. It is good news, at least for Kenyan football. People are getting back to the stadium. Now we have a good problem to solve.
Yes, actually we were discussing this with Arocho a few weeks ago, and we were saying that Gusii have brought a different element to football. We've never been this excited about football. All of a sudden, there's a 4-horse race against to get to the top 4. Tusker drew points recently. They dropped points. Gor Mahia won their game, actually. Police won against Sharks. So you see, yes. Right now, the thing that Shabana is bringing to the table is something that Kenya has lacked for a few years. So the turnout in Gusii Stadium was big. The stadium was full by 10 a.m. in the morning. Yes. So it's been a while since we've seen that. The only time I think we have experienced that is the national team that came against Gabon. Yes. And that is a very big win for Kenyan football, regardless of what happened with the crowd and the management. It was a big turnout. You were very excited. Me was very excited for the game. I actually wanted to travel, lakini nikajua huku. Itakuwa normal. But regardless of that, also Gor Mahia really surprised us. I actually thought they would drop points in Shabana. But as you said, Gor Mahia is a big club. Fans hawezi washtua, you know. And also their fans really did turn up in numbers. Regardless of whether they were in Kisii, they came and they supported. They were the 11th man. True. And for that corner kick and the goal, we were all surprised. Me personally, I did not think Shabana would drop points in their home stadium, especially with all the threats that they had given us. Oh, Watafunga Stadium. Oh, you know, all of those things. The banter. Yeah, so for football, it's a big win. For Shabana, I hope now they've accepted that they're out of the title race. And for Gor Mahia, we can't wait to see what's up for them.
I understand we have, of course, we're looking at that goal from that particular corner in the 80th minute at the El Stadio de Gusii. These are lovely sights to see in football. At least fans are back and football is back. It's a fresh start with, of course, the likes of appointment. We have great minds like Athanas Obango inside this. We also have a story that was done. Mavindi tells me, by director, that we have a story, right? So let's listen to that particular package that was done about this Shabana versus Gor Mahia FKF Premier League match.
Chaos, banter, and the late winner. Those were the scenes on Sunday evening as Kenya football giants Gor Mahia edged out Shabana in a drama-filled clash at Gusii Stadium. The much-anticipated showdown, dubbed as the Nyanza Derby, had seen tension simmer in different parts of the country, with some of Kogalo fans openly dismissing the Kisii-based club as a mere newcomer in the top-flight league.
Hatuna mambo mingi. You asked for it. We'll be landing from Sunday pale Homa Bay, County of Endless Potential. Na tutakam to deal na nyinyi venye mnafaa. Nyinyi ni NSL graduates bana. Kila mtu na lane yake. So to our friends from Shabana, Sunday, tutatofautisha between football and noise.
Wamecheza Goodison na Everton. Gor wamecheza na Alali Stadium. So what is Gusii? Sisi tunaenda points zetu 3 kwa hiyo Kaoshed na turudi Nairobi.
Sisi tumeenda paka Goodison. Tumecheza na Everton. Ile ni uwanja ya Wasungu. Sasa uwanja iko na ndisi inasitulia nini? Hatuna pressure baba. Hatuna pressure hata kidogo. hatuna pressure.
Verbal jabs only intensified the clash as what was supposed to be a football spectacle kicked off on a chaotic note, with a section of the traveling Kogalo supporters seated in section G10 engaging in a violent alteration with Shabana fans seated in section G9. A clash that resulted with a total of over 70 people reported injured as the victims were rushed to the nearby Gusii Teaching and Referral Hospital. Luckily, no fatalities have been reported yet. Despite the chaotic beginning, the match went on to kick off 1 hour 30 minutes later from the originally scheduled time, with the tension off the pitch spilling into the atmosphere inside the arena. Breakthrough came late in the 80th minute when Sylvester Owino broke free inside the 18-yard area to power home a terrific header, sending the Gor Mahia faithful into wild celebrations. Shabana fans were left fuming, some accusing the match officials of bias, citing a few contentious decisions. Still, nothing could dampen the joy of the Kogalo supporters, who left Gusii Stadium with the bragging rights and 3 crucial points, setting up an exciting finish into this season's Kenyan Premier League. Yuki Allen for TV47 Sports.
Thank you, Alan Zuki, for that report. Our head of projects at FKF and national team, you have a task. You've seen how really fans just want to be in the stadium. And if there is no capacity, definitely these are the kind of scenarios. And you see, we have reported about 70 people who are injured, and we're following that story to see that we don't even have, we don't want to have any fatalities and stuff like that. So mkona kazi, wewe na president, and of course with the government as well, because facilities, of course, also falls with the national government.
I think, first of all, I want to say pole to those who were injured yesterday. I just wish them a quick recovery. And first of all, I want to reiterate that violence has no place in football. And I think from the statement we released yesterday, we are going to be very, very tough on violence in our stadium. Football is a game of passion, and it's a game that we encourage people to go watch with their families and whatever. I just imagine a situation like what happened yesterday, when if somebody had gone with the kids or whatever, it could have been bad. It's good fans are coming back to the stadium, which is very good for football in terms of, from a commercial perspective, it's a very, very good thing for football. But we have now the elephant in the room. Violence, which could scare away people who want to invest in football. So it's unfortunate the incidents happened yesterday, but as a federation, I believe we have the relevant mechanism within the federation that are going to deal with the matter. And we call upon fans to restrain themselves from engaging into some kind of confrontation. Football is a game that is loved all over the world. And once you go to the stadium, it's just you to go and enjoy the game, not just to, like, I'm surprised to see people are carrying rungus, which is not, it's not encouraging at all. It's quite intimidating, and for somebody who's gone to the stadium to watch football, the moment you encounter somebody with a rungu, it scares you away. So I think it's very unfortunate the incident happened yesterday, but as a federation, I think we are going to look at ways and means of ensuring that safety is a top priority for football fans, because somebody leaves his home to go and watch a game, and we want them to go back home the way they came. We don't want to see a situation whereby we have to rush people to nearby hospitals for treatment. So I think as a federation, we are going to stamp authority and ensure that there's no violence in our football pitches. And before the game, we had an assurance from from Shabana that they're going to make sure that there is enough security. There were comments about moving the game to a more safer venue, but Shabana, I think, believe that they also need that home advantage. But moving forward, we really consider those high-risk games on ways and means of handling them. But I believe as a federation we're on the right track, and we will ensure that things go well moving forward.
And I'm bringing Anita. Anita, of course, just as Obang was mentioned, safety first. As a lady, I'm sure you said you wanted to go there. As a lady, does that make you shy for the next game, for the next Shabana, Gor Mahia game?
Well, I feel like the federation is working well.
Yep.
We had that issue as well when we were playing, when Gor Mahia was playing AFC Leopards, and the fans had, hata nakumbuka kuna mtu alitutishia akasema hata Gor Mahia wakiingia hata kiti moja, they won't come back here. You know, but the federation is working, because if they were able to host a national game in Nyayo Stadium, also Kasarani is also coming up. It's going to be ready in the next few months. We're also building another stadium in Talanta. So I think for us, we just wait for the federation to work, because it is doing a good job. But other than that, for local matches, other than the Shabana matches, we are going to attend. We will be there to adjust the stadium. But as they work to fix the problems that are currently there, which I'm sure they did not anticipate. We've not had such numbers.
Yes.
Actually, I'm waiting to hear the report for how much they made. Yes. So
I'm told they made close to 5 million. Eh?
Exactly. Which is very close to what we did with the national team.
Yeah.
So with that, I think certainly we need to now go back and now invest in Gusii Stadium. Now we need to give them enough sitting space. You know, the next thing, the security, which is very, and also the fact the fan said, you know, Gusii wametoka NSL.
Yes.
So it is just the beginning, you know. And for them to come from the NSL and come to number 4, it's a very good thing. Yeah, so it's a problem the FKF would not have anticipated. Yes.
Indeed.
So, yeah.
And looking at the standings, of course, Obango, as you weigh into the number that you mentioned, about 5 million, that's of course good for them, for their pockets, to pay all those, to offset their bills. I'm looking at Police FC on top of the table with 55 points. Gor Mahia, after 29 matches, they have 53 points. Tusker, 52 points. Shabana, 46. Leopards, 42. Kakamega Homeboys, 42. And then KCB, 41, like that, in that order. Bandari, 40. Sofapaka, 39. Mathare, 37. Ulinzi, 36. Kariobangi Sharks, 32. Talanta FC, 32. Mara Sugar, 31. Posta Rangers, 31. Muranga, 29. Bidco United, 28. Nairobi City, 24.
I think for the first time we have a very, very good race, and we are going to have a very, very good finish in football. We are used to Gor Mahia taking an early lead and an unassailable lead that nobody can catch up with them.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at the league going to the wire. And if you look at the remaining fixtures of all the three, let me say 3, because I think Shabana mathematically could be out of
the title race.
Of the title race.
Yes.
So we have the 3 teams, Tusker, Gor, and Police. And remember, Gor are playing Police on the last day of the fixture. So it's going to be something that is very, very interesting. And also, if you look at all the remaining fixtures for the three teams, they're equally very tough matches against some relegation candidates. So it's going to be a very, very interesting end to the league, and that is what we want to see in football, whereby there's that level. The level of competition is so high that you're not even sure who is going to win the league. And that is very good for football. And I just wish the best team to win. But it's going to be a very, very tough race toward the end, given that nobody's now dropping a point is so costly. Yeah, like I was just talking to the Tusker coach yesterday. We had a chat with him and saying, they're now starting to complain about officiating because, and I also believe that as a federation, we are going to do a lot to ensure that towards the end of the league, we have very competent people who are taking care of these matches, because we don't want to have stories of mtu amebebwa amefanya nini. Hapana, we want to see a very interesting end to the league so that we may be able to attract people to come on board and support football. Yeah.
Indeed. And of course, Anita, I'm looking at the title race. In your opinion, as of course you had weighed into it, it's anyone's to win. But people are saying Gor Mahia is a favorite, the defending champions, but Tusker are right in it, and Police are also. They've been topsy-turvy, sort of.
I think one of the biggest things that has made this competition very exciting is Nyayo National Stadium. So bringing the fans back into the game has made these teams have an 11th, 12th man.
Oh, yes.
So personally, I think Police have a very good chance. They have not dropped points in the past few games, other than the Ulinzi game, which was a shocker. But other than that, they've actually kept form in the past games. And then the other thing that I'd like to weigh in on is the fact that some of these teams are playing really young talents. The likes of Kilimadada are playing FC Leopards in the starting lineup. Tusker has the likes of Erambo in the starting lineup, commanding the midfield. Even Gor Mahia. So we are growing football, which aside from the title race is the whole idea. So yes, the title race is tough, but me, I'm really vouching for Police to get it this time. Tumechoka na Gor Mahia. Kila saa. We want something new. Right. And the fact that now we are having a 3-horse race with Tusker, Police and Gor, which we've not seen in a long time. It's bringing something exciting to Kenyan football. And also what he said about the under-20. The under-20 surprisingly has more players in the Kenyan Premier League than it has from abroad. And if you look at it, if the coach was basing it purely on merit, it means we're producing very good players from the Kenyan Premier League. Because we have Baron Ocheng from Sofapaka, we have Madada from AFC Leopards, we have Omondi from Ulinzi Stars, our keeper is also from Bidco United. So you can see the kind of players that we're bringing up in this league, which makes a very big difference. Indeed. And which we're very proud of as well.
Thank you very much, Anita Wachira, of course, our sports analyst. Athanas Obango Obala, asante sana, FKF Head of Projects and National Team at Football Kenya Federation. We appreciate, of course, your time and for sharing your sentiments about, of course, Rising Stars and, of course, our Kenyan Premier League. I know we are supposed to speak about Shujaa and, of course, what's been happening, Kina Omanyala in those Diamond Leagues. But, of course, time will not allow us. Of course, we have another session next Monday. But thank you, gentleman and lady, for making time, of course. Have yourselves a lovely week. We're taking, of course, the end of this particular Monday Blitz. Asante sana for watching. My name is Tony Kolan. Don't go away. More is up next.